Hey guys, welcome back to opening more Digimon booster packs. Last time, I had this card up here to refocus the camera because I had to go out and do stuff. But last time, I was opening the first few boosters. Really haven't gotten anything super spectacular, but that's just what you get when you have to deal with earlier sets of Digimon that really weren't really, occupied with it being about, oh, getting a ton of different effects. But we need to keep going. I'm hoping, is that a word? Hoping, no, that's probably not a word, but I'm hoping to get through this set a lot quicker. And, I've already saved some plastic on this one, so we're going to tear this shit up. So hopefully we can encounter some more interesting Digimon than we have before, since so far there has been very, very boring, and I mean boring cards. It's strange that, everything after, at least as far as I know, I think BT6 stopped using, giving us memory cards as, parts of packs. So, anyway, I put the light back up just to help us see a little bit more. First card of this episode is Candlemon. It's got, Mokumons and Demi-Meramons around it. But they really... This is another one that is kind of lackluster. It has no effect. It's got cool looking art. It's like one of them's hiding in a teapot, but just boring and has no effect. Alright. We got ourselves... That's where purple goes, right? I think I've got every color here. I don't think we'll be encountering a white card. Maybe if we encounter Alteress, but that might take a while. Anyway, we got Angemon here, who's just, coming down and giving us the good word of Yggdrasil, I guess. 3,000 for a champion. That is low. That is very low. Anyway, he has no effect, but his inheritable says, when attacking, trash the bottom card of one of your opponent's Digimon. Not bad. Some cards ask for more than just attacking. Or then maybe they'd say once per turn when attacking. I don't know. Not a bad card, but still not anything powerful enough to, say, oh, I need this to be run in a deck. Anyway, next up we've got Garudamon, who's just kind of, hanging out burning something. No, I was thinking that was another Digimon. That's its claw. Anyway, Garudamon's ability says, when attacking, when this Digimon attacks a player, trigger draw 1. I mean, pretty good ability just for attacking a player. It doesn't have to say that the attack is successful, I guess, or maybe it just means if security happens. So, another one of those not really worded all that well. Has no inheritable, though, so kind of worthless. Alright, now we got our first copy, and even if these cards are kind of basic and their abilities can be read in 5 seconds, if you want to get a more in-depth look at a card, and I just skim over it, it's probably in an earlier episode. So, anyway, skim over this. We have already gotten a Duramon. It is different. We got a Saberdramon, or as I usually call it, Saberdramon, since usually it's supposed to have an I in its name. Anyway, Saberdramon is just kind of on top of... I can't really tell. It's on top of a wing, or a tail of some kind. I can't really tell what it is. Maybe Fanglomon of some kind? I'm not really sure. Anyway, Saberdramon does not have an ability, but it does have a inheritable. It gives the Digimon retaliation, which... Just kind of Really, it doesn't help out in every situation, because if you're attacking a security Digimon, you're most likely... you can't, it's going to die anyway. And I guess it would only really work in a defensive sense, so... Anyway, got ourselves a Gazimon. And it says, Europe alterns, your opponent can't gain memory except with tamer effects. I might be good in a fighting blue decks, modern blue decks, since, a lot of decks ask to gain memory through card effects, but a bunch of tamers are also doing that, so it's kind of a floodgate, but not in a way that it would be worth something. Anyway, it's just Gazimon hanging out at the beach. Don't really know why he's at the beach. Don't really see him as a Digimon that's I love being at the beach, but interesting. It's not Big Chungus, but it is Big Bungus. Anyway, we got a Gatomon, and Gatomon's ability says, on play, if you have a purple Digimon in play, one of your opponent's Digimon gets negative 4,000 for the turn. Then your turn, when one of your other Digimon is deleted, this Digimon gets plus 3,000 for the turn. That on-play effect is pretty expensive for a play cost of 5. I don't even know if there are any cards around this time that gave you the ability to play a card for free about that. I mean, there might be, but it just seems like a very low effect to gain out of it. But it's just kind of like her attacking nothing, I guess. Either that or just weird things around her. I'm guessing that's just like her claw attacks. Let's see. Next up, we got a Demi-Vmon hanging out with Chibimon, just playing ball. It's not a basketball. It's not any kind of. It's not like a softball. It's not like a volleyball. It's just ball. So they're just playing ball. Weird to be playing just the two of you, but okay. Anyway, his inheritable says, your turn once per turn when this Digimon becomes unsuspended during your main phase. During your main phase, it gets plus 1,000 for the turn. So, lackluster at best. But I do like the art of them just kind of hanging out in the park. So, I do see a swing. So, I like swings. Anyway, we got ourselves Vikemon, the mega level of Gomamon. And his ability reads, your turn, while your opponent has a Digimon with no Digivolution cards in play, this Digimon gets plus 1,000 DP and security attack plus 1. So, it doesn't say that all of them need to have no. It just has that one of them has no. Not bad, maybe if you're fighting another blue deck, since those will kind of be playing cards out of Digivolution cards. So it may be worth something in that situation. Not sure. Anyway, next up we've got Purple Mimi. I've never seen this one before. It says, and then again, it's also in its 2020. This thing has no gender. Mimi, her ability is all turns. When a player has an option card, uses an option card, you may suspend this tamer to gain 1 memory. That is super basic. And then its security is just play without cost. So, I mean, during early sets, you'll be seeing cards that are like that. Very basic effects that are almost worthless. But I like the art from it. Then again, it's in her 2020 mode, and, you know, I have misgivings about that. But sometimes you just gotta learn to accept not everything's happy in the end. Anyway, we got X-Vmon. And his ability says, when Digivolving, unsuspend one of your level 4 or lower Digimon. So you could attack with like a Vmon, somehow maybe survive. I don't know. You'd have to get lucky and run into something that won't kill you. And then Digivolve with him and unsuspend him. Or you can just do it like have a Mega on the field and then unsuspend. Well, actually, no, it has to be a champion, so. I was thinking of a strategy, but not as useful as it is. But now I both have Stingmon and X-Vmon, so. Once I get Pyildramon, I can not do that, because the one from later is way better. Anyway, now we've got the Alter S pack, and I'm going to need to save this one. So, after this one, there's one more to save, and then I'll kind of be, like, all good. Come on. Oh, boy. Ah! Gotta love it when you just can't pull the thing off of itself. There we go. It's pretty. It's a little bit cosmetically messed, but not to the point I would say that it's horrible. Like, as you can see here, a little bit of a mess up there, but this is a pretty clean cut, and if you look at it from the front, there's just a little bit of a mess up there, but that's hardly noticeable when you put the card back together. Anyway, I'm going to take out the cards from this. Alright. I'm going to place the pack under there, as that is indeed saved. Anyway, let me take out the bottom memory, just because we don't need it, and you guys don't really care about looking at it. So, anyway. We got ourselves a Shamamon, being the weird other version of Gaburimon. And it's got other Gaburimon in the picture with it, like the ones in the background are the ones with the red hair, so I guess we're not without them. We're not without the what is it just called? I don't know, beginning mobs of the series. So, has no ability, has no inheritable. Pretty damn worthless. You're going to run into a lot of cards like that. Anyway, we got the rookie level of Argomon. We got the in training level of it in the last episode, but we didn't get the rookie. I've never actually seen what the rookie looks like. Maybe it was in Adventure 2020 and I just didn't notice it. Then again, I didn't really care about Adventure 2020. I've said that multiple times. I really just need to like tough it out and watch it. And maybe I will in between this episode and whenever I open more cards, but I just don't know. It just seems like something I'm just not interested in. Anyway, Argomon has no ability and has no inheritable, so pretty damn worthless. Anyway, we've got, I never remember his name. It's the ultimate level for Kudamon / Kentosaurusmon, but I remember Repamon. I just don't remember his ultimate level. I don't know. I have cards of it, so I could definitely delve into the library, but I just don't really give a shit. Anyway, is that... I mean, that's focused. I could bring it a little bit closer, but I think that's focused enough. Anyway, Holy Wave is the option card, and it reads, trigger recovery 1. And then security, activate the main effect. The security effect would be great, because you would do this without that memory cost of 6, but 6 is a high memory cost to recover from, so I don't know. It's a little bit of a costly card. Anyway, we got a Vmon, who's looking fucking rosy. He's looking like that Machop that Joel Vinesauce made during Polka Draw. It's like these rose-tinted 50s cheeks. So, he's just running through a forest. Sonic was one day running through a field, till suddenly he ran into, what is her name? I'm Rosie the Hedgehog, or whatever. Anyway, his inheritable reads, your turn once per turn. When this Digimon becomes unsuspended during your main phase, trigger draw 1. That's actually better than his in training, so I say wouldn't pass up on it, but the sad thing is that a lot of these just don't have effects outside of their megas, so I'm guessing that was kind of the idea for the very beginning of the Digimon card game, but got thrown out as, you know, why would you run one card over another card if not for an advantage they would give you? Anyway, we've got Tururimon. I talked about this last time when I opened Digital Hazard, but I completely forgot what Lopmon's other champion was, other than Wendigomon. This is what that is. So it's got like Shovel Claws from Sonic Adventure 1, and, you know, looks like a, I don't know, looks like a weird ninja bunny, so really has no advantages over other champions since it has no effects, but a 1 for champion ain't bad, I'd say. Alright, we got ourselves another Biomon who's just fucking napping. When you were napping, I was dying. Anyway, we got ourselves another Aquilamon. Alright, Airdramon, this is new. His ability says, security at the end of a battle, play this card without memory cost. Seems like that's kind of like there's one of those for each color in this set, so not bad, but I wish it had a different ability. I wish it had an extra one on top of it. And it has no inheritable, so kind of worthless, I would say. Anyway, we've got Demimeramon, and it's inheritable. It says on deletion, trigger draw 1, then trash 1 card. I mean, draw 1, great. Trash 1, great for purple, so not a bad card. It's just kind of hanging out near a campfire, I guess. I guess he's like trying to help his fresh warm up, but it's just strange looking. Alright. Next up, we've got Zubamon. Man, we'll almost have all of the parts of Durandamon's line. Anyway, Zubamon is one of the legendary Arms Digimon, and his ability says, on play, reveal a top 5 card to your deck, add 1 Ragna Lordmon and 1 card with Legend Arms in its type among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. Yeah, probably, it's a pretty early searcher, but it seems like a pretty good one. He's just kind of like attacking nothing, so I understand. I like attacking nothing as well. Anyway, we got ourselves a Wormmon who is literally afraid of leaves falling on its head. I mean, if it's poison ivy, I guess that makes sense, but those ain't no, like, poison ivy flowers. Poison ivy flowers? That'd be weird if poison ivy, like, bloomed. It has leaves, so, yeah, not making much sense. Anyway, his ability is on deletion for green. Reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 level 4 or 5 Digimon card among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck. That might not be a bad ability if you use him in Rookie Rushdown, where you just place him on the field, have him attack as fast as possible, and then just kill him on purpose to get that on deletion effect, which isn't bad, just targeting any ultimates or champions, so I don't think that's too bad of a card. Anyway, oh, this one is bad. It has no security effect. That's kind of like a crime in the option card world. If your option card has no security effect, I would say it's almost dog shit worthless, so maybe effect will help it. Scrap Claw, which shows Ground Dramon. Its effect says main one of your Digimon gains piercing for the turn. Yeah, that with a cost of 3. That card is horrible, and why is it a rare? Why? That is just such a horrible card. I don't know why anybody would ever use that, unless they have no other card to use. Then again, you could just play another Digimon. You could just avoid having to even deal with such a horrible card ending up in your security, and just play a different card. That's like the first Digimon card that I could say has absolutely no worth, because I'm not sure in what situation that would be useful. Sometimes you could just come up with some very useless fucking cards. Anyway, next up we've got Arukenimon. Actually, that might be one of the first cards that uses double color evolution, but it isn't double colored, so Anyway, excuse me. Its ability says, when attacking, you may pay 3 memory to play Mellow Myotismon from your hand, without paying its memory cost. Then delete this Digimon. Sounds like almost really close to the Mummymon effect, and I'm guessing the reason that is because, you know, if you've seen Adventure 2, then you remember that Mellow Myotismon, or like, Myotismon was kind of, like, without even knowing, working with Arukenimon and Mummymon in a way to revive himself, but really, they were working with the guy who was then being tricked by, you know, what's it called? Mellow Myotismon. So I guess it makes sense that they have something to do with that. But then again, you wouldn't even notice that if you weren't a Digimon freak like me. Anyway, it has no inheritable. Not a great card, but I guess if you're running Mellow Myotismon, I don't know if you're such a good player to build a deck around that. Anyway, we've got Gatomon with her Lightning Paw. It's just like doing like an Aura Rush, I guess, if you know what that is. Anyway, the effect says, main up to 3 of your opponent's level 3 Digimon get negative 4,000 for the turn. And then security says activate this effect. Which, this seems pretty good since most rookies will not have more than 4,000. Like, some will have 5,000, but really, they don't tend to go over that limit. So, that'd be a good way to, like, wipe out a field of rookies. So, I would say it's a pretty good card. For 3, it's not bad. Anyway, we got Tia Ludomon, being the champion level of Ludomon. And he has no ability. He has a pretty cool card art, though. He's just kind of defending against fire, I guess. And his inheritable says, if this Digimon is level 7, trigger D-Digivolve 1 on one of your opponent's Digimon. Not a really great ability. D-Digivolve is, like, only useful for when you're, like, trying to get rid of a big boss monster, or you're trying to get them down to, like, Digi-Egg status, so that they can wipe a Digimon off the field. So, could be useful, but then again, you'd really have to build a deck around it. Alright, we've seen Aquilamon, Psychmon. This is something different. We've got Howling Crusher, which has Saber Leomon on the front. And its effect reads, trash all Digivolution cards under all of your opponent's Digimon. Okay, and then activate this card's main effect for security. That is not bad for a 7 cost. If somebody's been building up their deck, or their field a little bit too much, Howling Crusher could kind of ruin every single Digimon they have on the field, so not a bad card. For 7, that's not too bad. There's probably cards that help out even more with that, but I'd say it's not a bad one. Anyway, we've got Lavogaritamon, the ultimate level of Vorvomon, being that he is one of the linked dragons. Sadly, he has no effect and no inheritable, but a pretty cool card art, I guess. He's just kind of wandering on, like, lava. Alright, oh, I stole a card. Alright, we've got regular Ludomon, being, well, the rookie, and kind of the counterpart to Zubamon and the whole Ragna Lordomon. And Ludomon's ability says, on play, reveal a top 5 card to your deck, add 1 Ragna Lordmon, and 1 Digimon card with Legend of Arns among them to your hand. Place the rest remaining at the bottom of the deck in any order. Kind of just a black version of, what's it called? Zubamon. And really back then, playing double color was not as great as it is nowadays, so you probably would want to choose one or the other, but I guess I don't think it would be too bad to do a double color with them. Just have less targets for stuff. Anyway, now we've got Upamon and Subumon, or Subumon, I guess. Yeah, the Freshmon, what? The Fresh just doesn't really have a great name. And Upamon's inheritance says, when attacking, once per turn, if you have 3 or fewer security cards, draw 1 card. Not bad. A lot of that is just 3 or fewer. It could probably be thrown a lot more into the ones we got from last episode. And helped out by that. Alright, we got ourselves the champion level of Argomon. We've got a ton of Argomon in this one. Anyway, it looks like a bulldozer with, like, weird Rock'em Sock'em robot hands, so interesting. His ability says Digisorption, which means when one of your Digimon digivolves into this card from your hand, you may suspend one of your Digimon to reduce the memory cost of the Digivolution by 2. So if you do that, you could just make your Digivolution free. So, not bad, but then again, it has no other ability, making him almost goddamn worthless. Anyway, I didn't know Joe had a black card. It just sounds weird out of context. Anyway, Joe Kiddo, or Kido, his effect says, start of your turn if you have a Digimon with blocker in play, gain 1 memory. Then play this card without paying memory cost. Not a good card. Definitely not a good card. But it looks cool nonetheless. Oh, we got ourselves Metal Greymon, otherwise known as just Virus Metal Greymon. Or Black Metal Greymon sometimes. And his effect reads Piercing. Then when Digivolving, you may return 1 level 5 Digimon card with a virus in its traits from your trash to your hand. So I'm guessing that is talking about like the secret rare of Black War Greymon. So that might actually help out with a something else. But then again, what's the level 7 Digimon card in this pack? That's only a level 6, so what is the level 7 it's talking about? Not quite sure. Anyway, I like his art of him just sending out his Giga Destroyer or whatever. Anyway, we've got the last unique card pack of the thing, so another one of those I'm going to say plastic piece of shit memes. So, I want to save plastic. It's like the people who want to save the trees. I'm the complete reverse. I want to save the plastic. Want to save an inanimate object? Yes. You want to save trees? Well, trees create air for us. Well, plastic creates smoke for me, and I'm a smoke life form. Smoking. If you were, I guess, the mask or whatever. The mask. That's what the point of the mask is. It's to hide my unending loneliness. I'm just filling in the lyrics for him since I've never actually listened to the song. That's not even how the song goes, I think. I think the song's not even on YouTube anymore. I don't think that man even uploads videos anymore because he's, in a lot of legal trouble. Anyway, I saved it. Pretty much no, other than that really bothered him, no cosmetic problems on the front. There's a big old flap on the back, but that don't matter all that much. Anyway. Take off the memory thing and stop talking about Dream, the world's worst fucking YouTuber. Okay, I'm just picking this up out of there. Anyway, we have well, yeah, that does look like him. I was like, what is this card? I was like, that doesn't look like Argomon Ultimate, but Gargomon. Argomon Ultimate didn't just look like a dude. He was also, if you remember, Go Burst Mode or whatever, the stupid the Data Squad movie that is only 15 minutes, so it's more like a Data Squad short that has fucking, that's where Argomon originates from. Agumon just kills Argomon because he tried to attack a random little girl who is also a Digimon. Yeah, that movie didn't make much sense. Anyway, he also looked like a big tower for a bit until turning into a dude. Anyway, Argomon's ability is Digisorption 3, and his inheritable says, when attacking, you may play 1 level 3 green Digimon card from your hand, suspended without paying its memory cost. So, I guessing just another way to get Argomon in the field. So it's really referencing like the first few episodes of 2020, as that was Argomon was like the villain of that. So interesting. Got ourselves another Lightning Paw. Not a bad card. Oh, we got Arudamon. And this one I talk a lot about in when I'm playing Digimob, since that's the Digimon that's related to Lotusmon. So, you know, I talk about her a lot there, but all it is just Palmon with a blue leaf. So, really, there's no difference outside of that. Maybe it's eye color, but I don't even remember Palmon's eye color. Anyway, it's kind of a high attack for this era of Digimon rookies, but has no effect, so I'm gonna have to throw you in the trash, Arudamon. Next up, we got Betamon, my greatest enemy. You know what happens? The Epsilons must destroy the Betas for ruining life. Anyway, he's just kind of electrifying water somehow. And the same thing with Arudamon. He actually has one less Digivolution cost, so he might be a little bit more viable, but then again, he has no effect, so not quite sure why you'd use him. Anyway, we got ourselves another Raiji Ludomon, a Tia Ludomon. Oh, Death Parade Blaster. What? That's not Death Parade Blaster, that's Desperado Blaster. You know, Japan, you came up, or at least the translation team came up with a really cool name, and you're just like, you know what, Death Parade Blaster. You know what, Blue Hawaii Death. Just like, okay. Anyway, Death Parade Blaster, as I'm just going to keep calling it, Desperado Blaster. Its effect says trash up to 2 Digivolution cards from the bottom of all your opponent's Digimon. That could be way better than the Howling Crusher card, just because it costs way less, and people may not have that many Digivolution cards on them. And then, if you have a green Digimon in play, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon with no Digivolution cards. And then security, activate the main. So, not a bad card. Might be even more viable than the Howling Crusher card we've seen. And so, oh, this one, the Cardinal Sin, no security effect. So, Puppet Pumble, showing Puppetmon, and its effect says, main, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, then one of your Digimon gets plus 2,000 for the turn. That actually might be a little bit better than that card we saw earlier, just because the whole suspending a Digimon and gaining DP is not bad for a 3, but why would you run this when there are cards that do that effect so much better, and this one has no security? Literally, you're making yourself more defenseless. I don't get it. Anyway, there's like cool cards back there. Anyway, we got Zudomon running up with the hammer. Where is he? He's just like in the Arctic, I guess. Remember, he's kind of an athletic Digimon. He's big, but he can jump real high. So, I've always liked Zudomon better than like Ikakumon, Gomamon, or what's it called, Vikemon, or even Plesiomon. I just always felt that he looked really cool. So, there's just a Digimon opinion that you may or may not agree with. Anyway, we've got, Boncho Stinkmon. That's good. Boncho Stinkmon. Yes, that's his name. Boncho Stinkmon. He has 9,000 attack, but then again, he's not really a true mega in my mind. He's more of a, I'm counted as a pretty high level Digimon, but it's nice to have another Boncho Digimon. I actually have Boncho Mamemon, Boncho Leomon, Boncho Stingmon, Boncho Leomon. I think I have one more Boncho Digimon, but I have almost all of them now, so that's pretty awesome. And Boncho Stingmon is a really cool looking design, so I'm going to put it down. Anyway, he's got Piercing, and when attacking, if your opponent has a 12,000 or DP more Digimon, this Digimon gets plus 7,000 in security attack plus 2. That is actually really fucking good. Why is this only an uncommon? This thing can shoot up to a fucking 16,000 DP Digimon if you're fighting something stronger than you. So that's a really good card. I don't know why that's not more rare, but okay. Anyway, then we got his friend Ken Ichijoji, otherwise known as just Ken. What's his name in Japan? I can't remember, but I always just remember him by Ken. Anyway, he's wearing his weird like gray attire he had. And this isn't Kid Ken, who showed up in the Rio games, and if you don't know that, yes, Ken, it's kind of a weird one, but If you remember during the events of Adventure 2 and learned about Ken's backstory, he had been to the digital world at some point and had fought Millennium Mon with Rio. And you literally see this in the anime. And the reason that shows up is because there's games talking about that. Literally, the second Rio game covers those events. So that's why partially the Rio games are canon to the the series. It's so strange, but yes, he was a Digimon tamer that fought Millennium Mon, who is one of the most dangerous Digimon ever, and then he just turns into a edgy boy. Sad. Anyway, his effect says, if you have 2 or less memory, set your memory to 3. Your turn, when one of your green or blue Digimon deletes an opponent's Digimon in battle and survives, you may suspend this tamer to gain 1 memory, and then play it without memory cost. I think the top ability is way better than its bottom ability, but that's just because most tamers do that anyway, or they should. Not a bad card, but definitely not something amazing. Anyway, now we don't have every part of the Ragnarlord Mon line, but we do have the main one. Anyway, this is a really cool looking card. It's got the swords from the shields from Ludomon, and the sword from Durandamon stuff, so that's pretty fucking cool. Anyway, his ability reads, Security Attack +1, and Reboot. When Digivolving, you may play one Durandamon, or, I've always fucked up that other name, Ludramon. I really need somebody to say that name out to me. Ludramon. That's Mama Luigi to you, Mario. From your hand, you may place from your hand on top of this card's Digivolution cards to gain 3 memory. Does that mean on top of him, or does that mean right under him? Really, they made that a lot more simpler in later ones, because literally in the Alphamon line, they talk about just put it underneath it, but this is a good card for when this came out, so I ain't going to put it down. It's a very cool looking card as well, but the reading of it is not great. Anyway, we're kind of close to the end, but I do want to do another pack, just because I'm a glutton for punishment. What can I say? I'm a glutton for Digimon. I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Pretty much the same thing with Digimon, so I ain't gonna lie. I'm cuckoo for Digimon. Cuckoo for Digimon. Anyway, Arudamon, Agumon, Desperado Blaster, because I'm not calling it that. Anyway, Gomamon, new Digimon, says, when playing this card from your hand, reduce its memory cost by 1 for each of your opponent's Digimon with no Digivolution cards. Don't know why you just don't Digivolve it through Digivolving. So, you do that for 0. You don't even have to worry about what your opponent has. I mean, I guess you could play this for 0, I guess, by doing that. If they had 4 Digimon that had no Digivolution cards, but I'm guessing your opponent won't have anything like that, so not all that great. Got ourselves a Seadramon. It's the evolution of Betamon, but it still makes him a Beta, though. So, anyway, he has no ability and has no inheritance, so not a great card. Not a great card. Alright, we got Blossomon. I like the art. Koki's white watercolorings are not as prominent in this one, so I'm fine with it. But its only effect is Digisorption -3. Man, you really don't see Digisorption later on in sets. That's a very uncommon ability, so. I mean, you could, it goes down by 3, so I guess you could make this a pretty free evolution. But then again, why the fuck are you playing this card? We've got a Betamon. Oh, this is different. We have to stop fighting. Okay, I guess we'll stop fighting. I'm guessing this is supposed to be or almost at the very beginning of World 1, where you see the cool thing where Metal Mamemon is fighting Metal Greymon, and they're almost about to attack and stuff. But I guess this is replacing it with Mamemon, and then just Monzemon is saying fuck off. Anyway, we have to stop fighting is neither player's Digimon can be deleted in battle for this turn. And then Security just add this card to the hand. Pretty funky looking art that I think is pretty cool, but it just seems like a really worthless card. I don't know, I guess if you think you're gonna die soon. You know, I actually enjoy that Boncho Stingmon is an uncommon, because that means I can get more of them, so I ain't gonna pass that up. And then we've got Minomon, the entraining form of Wormmon, with his little, like, other thing over there. I just forget that one. Leafmon, that's what it's called. Anyway, Minomon's inheritance says, when attacking, if you attack one of your opponent's Digimon, this Digimon gets plus 1,000 for the turn. I mean, the whole Boncho Stingmon has piercings, so that actually might help him out a lot. So, not a bad one. Anyway, got ourselves another Wormmon. And we got Sarismon. I got completely confused on what this thing was. I thought Sarismon was something different, but, you know, it's a giant land bird thing, which actually looks pretty cool, but is very strange. Anyway, Sarismon, who's got like a Parrotmon on his back, along with... I need to look a little bit closer. What is on his back? Just a lot of Digimon. There's a Tyrannomon, there's a Decamon, there's two Digimon I don't recognize, and there's like Sirenmons flying around, then there's like that weird one I don't know the name of all the way down there. So a lot of Digimon on this one. Anyway, Sarismon's ability says Digisorption 3, and your turn, once per turn, when suspending a Digimon for a Digisorption skill, you may suspend your opponent's Digimon instead. That seems pretty OP. You could just make their Digimon, like, attackable by summoning Digimon. Since a lot of Digisorption cards are in this, so... Not a bad card. I'd say this would actually be pretty OP when mixed with a, with that Stingmon stuff, so... You know, that might be a deck I want to make. Anyway, we've done quite a bit of cards. Not actually that much, though. Maybe another 3 packs from that. Actually, no, we did 4 packs from that, so... Next time on Opening Digimon Boosters, we're going to be able to go more into this. Maybe we can speed it up a little bit, knowing that we've hit a lot of cards and we won't be reading them as much. So, I'll see you guys next time.